Hello, I'm doing the video now for phase 1 of CellCore. So why would you want to do CellCore? Why would you want to embark on this venture to detox your body? Well, anyone can do this, basically. And I actually recommend it for everybody. Like, why wouldn't you? Think of how many things are being pumped out into the environment. Just maybe run through it once a year, but and this is for the majority of people who are going to choose to do it, is you've been suffering with some form of illness, right? Lyme disease, mold, brain fog, some autoimmune disorder, gut issues, food allergies, thyroid problems. So, phase 1 is the first step. If you just jump straight into detox, some people know this, some don't if you're new to it. Detoxing can make you feel very sick because you're actually moving waste out of your cells and into other parts of your body. If you're not prepped for it, it can redistribute throughout your body and make you feel sicker. So you don't want that to happen, especially to your brain or your bone marrow. So your body's very smart. It will normally push them to areas that are not as harmful, but you need to detox in a smart way so you don't get bad side effects. So that's what CellCore is it's because it's grown so fast. You can really see how well it's been done. It's actually healing people, but the research and the love that went into, and the technology, really the technology that went into CellCore is amazing. It's a new carbon technology, and it utilizes these carbon structures that your body's made out of and goes into the cell, where your cell can use what it wants and not use what it doesn't want, and then actually take out cellular waste as you go. So I want to just introduce you to phase 1 here and talk about the different, there's 4 different products. So you're first going to have your CT minerals, and it's just what it is: minerals, fulvic acids, humic acids, and it is bringing in these elements that your body is just starving for, especially your mitochondria. So as you start to detox, your mitochondria are going to say, we don't have enough energy to do this. And all the cellular waste is going to back up, and you can feel crummy. So what we're doing is we're bringing the elements that your mitochondria need so they can start churning out toxins. Okay, so we're kind of revving up the engine. So that's the one. And then the next one is called, let's see, BC-ATP. And so these are, again, highly charged organic acids that support metabolism for making ATP. So ATP is, again, for the mitochondria. They assist in the body's natural detoxification process, and they also contribute to your gut's microbiome. So it's mostly well tolerated, even by sensitive people. The next thing that you're going to need is your kidney liver support, or KL support. This has herbs and nutrients that are traditionally used to support your kidney and liver health. Things like beetroot in it, marshmallow root, milk thistle, and NAC, which is the big one. Now, NAC helps create glutathione in your body, in your liver, which is the master antioxidant. Okay, so it's very important for your body's cleaning system. Your kidney and your liver are your body's filters, really. So it's going to be essential to prime those drainage pumps. They call phase 1 drainage because let's just say you have a drain clogged in your house. Let's say it's your toilet drain, and you want to do a big, a purge. That sounds terrible. I mean, like a system purge, not like yourself. So if your toilet starts backing up, your whole house is just going to be flooded, right? So that's what happens if your kidney and liver are not cleaned out well. It's just a filter. It's going to start backing up into your house, which is the rest of your body. So we need to use these supplements to start that process, to gently start moving the backup out. Um, so that's the four. Oh, sorry, I didn't say the biotoxin binder. So the biotoxin binder is going to be like a staple of your one of really through this whole process. They're going to gently introduce some other binders as well, but this is the first one because it's more, it's like less potent. But what you're going to find is that you're going to love it. As you start detoxing more, it's going to be your go-to. So as your body starts churning out toxins, you don't want it to get reabsorbed. So what the Biotox binder is it's a magnet, and it pulls the toxins out of your body, and you basically poop it out. And it's amazing. It works within 15-20 minutes. If you start feeling symptomatic, you pop one in the morning, pop one in the evening, and it works wonderfully. Um, you can even dose up to 2. So for the minerals, you take 1 in the morning. The ATP, you take 2 and 2, a morning and evening. Biotox binder, you take 2 and 2, morning and evening. And kidney liver support, 2 and 2. So I have an interesting story. I don't think my friend would mind me sharing, but she wanted to start the process and wasn't really sure she wanted to buy the whole kit because it is pretty pricey. Um, so she wanted to just start on the kidney liver support because it's awesome, it's amazing. She's like, well, which one should I get if I get anything? So I advised to start with that one, and I said start slow. So she goes ahead and starts taking it, and I don't know how long it took, but within a week, she I have to adjust the screen. Sorry, guys. Um, Within a week, her face had just broken out severely, like her whole face. And that was because the product was working so well, but she didn't have a binder on board, and she hadn't opened up her detox pathways. So she ordered the rest of the kit. She's going to be getting it, and that will clear up. I told her get some bentonite clay and put it on your face. It'll help pull and draw it out of your skin and calm it down a little bit. But I told her to stop the kidney liver support, so it works. It actually starts things going. So some people are a little more sensitive or a little more sick, and they're going to need to do this phase 1 for probably 2 to 3 months. Everyone's a little different. Some people only need 1 month on this. So you just buy the kit, you're done, move on to phase 2. Once you move on to phase 2, you can start it a couple days, and then you'll know if you need more time on phase 1 because you'll start feeling really crummy. Especially if you don't take your binder enough, which you can avoid a lot of crummy side effects. I don't expect you to feel terrible only if you're not taking your binders and you haven't adequately been having a bowel movement. Actually, it's recommended while you're doing these programs, you need to be having 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. So add your bowel mover to it. So this is when it can start kind of racking it up because it's really depending on what you in particular are struggling with. So the fulvic acid in the whole kit, really most of these supplements have some form of fulvic or humic acid in it, and it's great for your gut. And a lot of people, it will just help them have a bowel movement. Some it will not. So if you're prone to constipation, get the bowel mover. You have to get that drainage. That's drainage. You have to get the waste moving. That's your primary way, and your kidneys and your skin, right? So while you're doing these protocols, I recommend drinking, lots of water. I recommend the sauna. If you can't tolerate heat, that just means your whole homeostasis and temperature regulation pathways are just not working well, and you need to work up to it. But by the end of this, you're going to do fine. You're going to be able to tolerate heat and sweating. So getting your thyroid regulated more helps with that. So I actually do recommend finding some form of electrolyte to put in your water, something that has potassium, sodium, maybe a little magnesium, and find one that doesn't have sugar if you can. I found a great one that has just stevia in it, and it's amazing. I drink it all the time. I find I need a lot of minerals. And if you think about it, our water is just not adequate anymore. I drink RO because that's just what we have. We don't want to drink city water. We don't even want to use a Brita because those don't work well. They leave glyphosate in your water, which is Roundup. So we have the reverse osmosis system, but that strips your water of minerals and electrolytes and the, the vibrancy of the energy of the water. They call it being harmonized and structured. So it's unstructured water. But once you add the minerals, the electrolyte powders and forms, Ben Lynch has one, to your waters, it changes the game. So why do you need a detox? I mean, do I really need to say? But mold is huge, guys. I was from Florida and no one talked about mold. This was 20 years ago. And this is when me and my husband first got married. We lived in a moldy house. He actually got sick 2 years after that, once we moved out of that house. Well, while we were in that house, he started getting sick. And then once we had moved out and had our son, was when his whole body just went kaput. And he got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. So mold is huge. It's super common. If you have an old home, it's almost 100%. There's some form of water damage there that you're going to have to remediate. If you've had a home that was redone, like a house flipper came and redid your house, and you're like, oh, it's all beautiful and updated, there's a high chance that they just took out all the moldy stuff and just stuck it walls or kind of built around the nasty areas, and there are still moldy areas and the spores are still there and it wasn't remediated properly. So yeah, I highly recommend, before you even start CellCore, actually, is get your home checked for mold. um, I was trained by Jay Davidson in the beginning. I went through one of his trainings before he even started CellCore. It was called Microbe Formulas. So Jay Davidson and Todd White started this together. They're chiropractor buds. And don't mind my neck. I don't know why, but when I speak, I get nervous and I get flushed. So where was I? So mold, yeah. Basically, they said even before anyone starts the protocol, don't even tell them to buy anything. Don't even start. If their house is moldy, they have to get it remediated and fixed. They can kind of get by for a while using binders and some air filters and charcoals and clays and things. But yeah, you can't heal in a moldy environment. It's like being in a room that's on fire and trying to stay warm. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, trying to stay cold. It doesn't make sense. So you're like, I'm trying to get healthy. Oh my gosh, I feel terrible. But there's literally mycotoxins, which are the toxins that mold give off, in your air. And what do? They get into your brain, they get into your liver, they get into your kidneys. They cause digestive issues, brain fog, anxiety, depression, migraines, autism, gut issues. I already said gut issues. So, a medication that we used to give to our transplant patients when I was a pediatric nurse was called CellCept. It's called mycophenolic acid. And that's literally a mycotoxin from the penicillium family, which is a water damaged mold, and it dramatically decreases your immune system. So that was one of the molds I tested high for when I had mold issues. Was basically I had CellCept in my system. So that's what we give our transplant patients so they don't reject their organs, their foreign organs. So what does mold do? It dramatically reduces your immune system and it lets a floodgate of invaders in your body. What are they? The prime ones are Lyme disease. So many people are exposed to ticks and Lyme disease in their life and they're fine. Their body fights it off. But the key that opens the door to these nasty, hellacious spirochetes and Bartonella and all the co-infections that go along with it is mold. God talks about mold in the Bible. He did not mess around with it. The Levitical people, they had to go in and inspect, and if that mold wasn't gone, they had to tear the building down. Okay, guys, so the advisor of CellCore tells you, do not start healing. Do not even think you can try unless you've checked your house for mold, even done a test. So what test is it? You have to get the ERMI, okay, ERMI. And there's a website called Envirobiomics. Okay, I'll try to put that link below, but I'm not techie, so see if I can do that. That is a great company. That is basically one of the gold standards for testing your house for mold. It's a Swiffer test. You get dust samples from the house. They give you specific instructions of what to do, and it will tell you if you have mold. Okay. But really, like, the best thing to do is get a real mold inspector with an ERMI. Or, even on social media, there's these new mold guys popping up, and I'm like, they are freaking amazing. One lady that I refer people to, I'll put her link below as well, because a lot of times if you hire an inspector, they are fake. They do not know what they're doing, and you'll spend thousands of dollars on mold remediation and inspectors, and you'll get nowhere. So she's vetted kind of the field of mold inspectors because of the crap that she went through and the money and the sickness and that her family dealt with. So this is now her thing, is that she vets out these inspectors and remediators. She'll walk you through the whole process. So I highly recommend that, actually. So I'll put her link below. And so, yeah, that's the first. Oh, second thing you have to do before you heal is get the mercury out of your teeth. If you have dental amalgams, from, if you're a child of the 80s or 90s, or even before that, before they were doing just like composite white, it's kind of plasticky stuff anyways, which is bad, but not as bad as mercury. Mercury is like the top heavy metal that is so toxic for your brain and body. So you can find a biological dentist that does the SAFE protocol, which they put a dam over your mouth so that, little chunks of mercury doesn't get in. And they put a high pressure oxygen flow hood around you, because really it's the vapors that are released when you chew hard food, or when they go in and they kind of chunk out the mercury out of your teeth. So they give you oxygen. Some of them will give you IV vitamin C. And so, yeah, they do it very safe so that you're not exposing yourself to this massive dose of mercury when you get them removed. So you have to go to a special dentist. Don't go to any dentist, because any dentist will tell you, sure, I'll replace those for you. And no, it's not good. A lot of dentists get neurological issues from doing this, by the way. So where was I going? So yeah, those two things are really the biggies, because you can chelate metals out of your body all that you want, but if you still have metals in your teeth, what are you going to pull them through your body and out your poop or your pee? Like, no, just pull them out first, and then you can do the rest. So that's pretty much it. I'll add any additional links and things below, and hopefully if I get some questions and things, I'll do another video. So I would love to get your email, and I can add you to my back portal, and I'll send you a full, like, 400 question assessment that will tell you what your problem areas are. And you can also get 15% on CellCore products if you use my code. So that would be nice, because it's very expensive. Anyway, so have a good day.